Hey y'all. So apparently everyone's been playing on Talishar these days, so I figured I'd give it a shot as well. And yeah, here we are. I've got 1.5 games of Talishar here. Both of them were against Fi, so let's get right into it. Yeah, opponent's going first in this one. And we seem to have drawn 3 2-blocks, which is pretty unfortunate, but we do see an Insidious Chill, so that's something I'm totally okay, like, trying to develop turn 1. And since that first thing was coming in for 3, I actually just decided to sync that and sync one of my 2-blocks to hopefully draw a 3-block, which does happen. So that's nice. Then my opponent comes in with a Thaw, which is a little surprising. We could full block it, but lose a chill, and I kind of really want to develop the chill like as soon as possible. So I decided to take 1 to be able to hold on to the chill. Yeah, you gotta switch to always hold priority when you're playing Icelander. Because it doesn't always give you the priority windows that you want, like particularly, I think the resolution step on the attacks. So you want to make sure you do that. And then we draw into another Insidious Chill, which is a bit of a slap in the face. Like, haha, you took 1 damage for nothing. But anyway, so we play the Ice Vein instead of playing the Chill. Because, might as well tax our opponent a bit and then just arsenal a Chill and develop it on their turn. Yep, as expected, opponent just takes 5, and I believe they discard another Thaw, which is, like, interesting. Yep, they do discard another Thaw. I mean, the banishing effect from your graveyard doesn't matter much against Icelander, but the fact that it's just a tall attack is kind of decent, because, like, you get tags going wide, right? Like a Channel Lake Frigid, like, taxes you going wide, but, like, just being able to send an attack for 6, you kind of present the same damage, but it's not taxable. Okay, opponent comes in with a Belittle, which is unfortunate because they pitched a red for it, so I know like a Frostbite is gonna be pretty bad for them. But they're gonna, they find a blue minimalism. So I'm gonna wait a little and see what else is happening in this combat chain before I play this Insidious Chill, or even if I do, I might not play it if it gets bad enough. Okay, and then my opponent undid their last action, and I thought it was, at first I thought it was because they accidentally popped their mask on that trigger there. But they didn't. They actually changed what they searched for. They searched for a red minimalism. I'm not sure if they did this because I didn't respond and they're like, oh, maybe he doesn't have any disruption. So, they changed to a red minimalism, and I actually didn't notice at this point. I only noticed later when they actually played it, and I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, so they play it now. I'm like, huh? And I look through the chat, I'm like, wait, what? I thought they searched for a blue. Like, what just happened here? So yeah, my opponent changed what they were looking for. Like, there we go. I'm like scrolling through the chat. I'm like, what? And like making sure that the first time they did it, the first time they did it, they searched for the blue, and they undid and searched for a red, which I guess, I mean, I'm not too sad about that, because then now this Frostbite matters again, so, Yeah, and then they come in this Lava Burst, and this is 5 because of the Minnowism buff, not because of the Chain Link thing. Although, I guess looking at their hand, they pitched to take the Tempo and a Lava Vein Loyalty, and they had Lava Burst. So, I guess the blue Minnowism wouldn't have done much for them, and they prefer the +3 damage. I guess makes sense. Like, even disregarding, like whether they, like, reacted to me having Disruption or not. I think the red Minnowism was the correct choice anyway. Anyway, so on our turn, we get to Erase Face, which will slow our opponent down. Like, at minimum, it stops the Phoenix Flame. But at most, they're holding onto a Spreading Flames, which like does nothing, or they have extra resources, they can't swing the sword. So that's nice. I do like playing that, and then into Arsenal or Channel Lake Frigid, so yeah. Cool. Opponent just starts with typical 5 things, the head jab. And I'm looking at my hand, and it's all blues. So typically when I'm going to play Channel Lake Frigid on a turn like this, I like to block out and just keep, 2 cards remaining. Well, I guess I'll be blocking at 1, is my thought. And then pitch an ice card for Coronet Peak and Arsenal the other. So I'm trying to decide what I want to Arsenal on my turn, and what I actually want to Arsenal is the Channel Bleak Expanse. Because the thing I'm most scared of when there's a Channel Lake Frigid on this field is a Belittle from my opponent. Because a Belittle will just like nullify my channel. My Channel Lake Frigid. So Channel Bleak Expanse is 1/1 Arsenal, and then, you know, I pitch a Hypothermia and keep the 3 blocks remaining just in case things go bad. So that's the thought process there. And we don't block this. I very rarely block the first thing the Phi does, because I just want information on what they're going to do next. Alright, and then come in with an erase face, which is really bad. So, firstly, glad I held on to my 3 blocks. And secondly, this means that, like, if we don't block this, there's no way we keep channel around because we have no ice cards. So I'm forced to pitch a Channel Bleak Expanse on my turn and sort of, you know, leave myself vulnerable to, like, a belittle. So yeah, and that's the other thing about, like what I said earlier about the tall attacks, right? Like, even if it was a Thor, it's like a 2 for 6. It's much better than, like, being only able to play, like, a 0 for 3 after that and not be able to play any further because there's a channel in the field. So, yeah, Erase Face, good card against Ice Hand. Also, you know, if they try and keep an Ice Vein hand, you actually can't unless the Ice Vein's in your arsenal, because you need 3 cards. You need the Pitch card, the Fuse card, and the Ice Vein itself. So you can't block out the Erase Face for 6 and also keep that many. Anyway, so on our turn, we Coronet Peak, pitching on Channel Bleak Expanse, because keeping Channel Bleak Fridge is more important than having Channel Bleak Expanse Arsenal. And then we do get punished. Well, I mean, not punished. I mean, our opponent forced us to block, and then we couldn't respond to his belittle. It was exactly the thing I was scared of, which is why I wanted a Channel Bleak Expanse in my arsenal. So yeah, so his belittle is basically going to nullify my Channel Bleak Frigid, so I'm kind of bummed about that. On the bright side, we do have a way to keep our channel. So since we drew a red ice card, what I'll be looking to do is pitch the red Ice Bolt and the Cold Snap to play my CNC. Yeah. It's okay, we get to clean block the Blaze Headlong at least. And then opponent, yeah, gets to swing the Ember Blade. So honestly, not too bad, even though they had belittle. The Coronet Peak, of course, helping a lot there. Like, you know, they were only on 4-card hand. Then, of course, channel. So basically, the belittle got them an extra sword swing. Cool. So we go CNC, pitching 2 ice cards, and a play like this, like when you have channel in the field and you do like a red disruptive attack on your opponent, like it's a CNC or like an Ice Vein, that's just one of those, like what I like to call like the mom said it's my turn to have the tempo plays. Because, like, you know, you tax them on your turn and you still have CLF out, so it's really nice. And yeah, my opponent just took 6, which happens a lot. I found that most of my 5 opponents just like take 6 on CNCs and Erase Faces, because like most of the stuff blocks 2. So what, like they give you 3 cards, you're happy. Or, you know, they just take 6 and they lost their arsenal, which was a Lava Burst. So, you know, I'm also happy about that. Their turn, all they get to do is play a Take the Tempo. And then we've got the Fused Ice Vein on our turn, so that's nice. I am running a 1-off yellow now. Yeah, a 1-off yellow Ice Vein. And yeah, we have the Fused Ice Vein with the Chill already developed, which we developed turn 1, so, you know, we kind of just firmly have tempo on our side. Cool, and we draw up, and we have Blizzard, and looking at this all blue, usually like the all blue hands in Iceland, you're like, oh man, this you know, this is not great. Like, I have the tempo, but I can't do much on my turn. But now that we have Brain Freeze in the list, it's actually amazing. Brain Freeze, especially when you have Chill up, is basically a 1 card for 2 from your opponent. Because you Brain Freeze, fuse it, you're just using 1 card, you want to Arsenal anyway. Your Chill triggers, you get a card from them, your Brain Freeze happens, you get a card from them. So it's just 1 for 2, it's just, man, I've been loving Brain Freeze. I've been loving Brain Freeze more as a card to play on my turn than to play the card on my opponent's turn. But of course, being blue, you have the flexibility to do it on both turns. So that's really nice. Yeah, opponent just starts with the head jab. We go in Frosting to give them a Frostbite. And yeah, so looking at this, like with how close the life totals are, and given that I have this Brain Freeze play on my turn, I actually at this point, I am starting to prioritize dealing damage over blocking. Like, if I'm taking 3 to deal 3, like I do a Waning Moon here, I prefer that trade, because once we get to like sub 10, it's like my opponent needs to be scared of just dying to Storm Striders randomly. So, you know, I kind of want to rush us there. And given that we're at an even life total, I can afford to do so. Yep. The other thing this Waning Moon does is that, you know, my opponent has already seen my frosting, and so they might get baited into blocking. And then, you know, if they block and then I blizzard them, then they're like, oh wait, I shouldn't have blocked. So that's the other thing about the Waning Moon play here. Okay, but they just take the 3, and to be honest, I'm also kind of happy with that. Okay, so yeah, this thing hits. I let them decide if they want to pop the mask, and they don't, and then I blizzard it. Cool, and then, yeah, my opponent pays 2 for the blizzard, but I believe they actually just made a mistake here. Because I think they forgot the blizzard gives them an additional frostbite. Like, they could have played around it by, you know, popping their tunic before the blizzard frostbite happened. But now that they waited too long, they paid for the blizzard, had 1 floating, but then they can't play their rising resentment. Because they need to pay an additional 2 and they only have 1 floating. And then they disconnect. So, you know, that happened. Yeah, so anyway, I mean, even if they played that correctly, we take an extra 3 on our turn, we do a Brain Freeze Fused, we get 2 cards from them, Arsenal the Hail. So I'm pretty sure we still had this game, but yeah, I guess, you know, opponent DC'd, so I queued up for another one. Alright, so this is game number 2, and yeah, this time we got to go first, and starting with a red spell in hand is awesome. This time our opponent only has 1 AB, and they're playing Shuko, so I can tell this fire opponent wants to be a little more aggressive, and it's probably gonna like pop their Tide Flippers and Mask really early. That's what I've seen usually when they only have AB1. So being able to start like by dealing them, what's this, like a total of 5 damage is pretty strong. And since they only have AB1, I'm totally happy arseling the blue Ice Vein here. Get a card from them on their turn and deal them 3. Yep, and then we draw into Erase Face, which is a nice disruptive thing for us to do on our turn. And then we can arsenal the Aether Hail, which is kind of just the most... what's happening here? Yeah. And arsenal the Aether Hail, which is like the most efficient thing we can do from Arsenal with this hand. Hypothermia is just a risky thing to Arsenal. You kind of need them to swing the sword or like play a Lava Vein Loyalty. I guess even a Blaze Headlong for it to do anything. Alright, yeah. Gotta remember to always hold priority. And then in the previous match, actually, while I was waiting for my opponent's while I was waiting for my opponent to come back, I discovered there's a Dark Plane mode, which is awesome. So, you know, I switch over to that. Anyway, yeah, so Arsling Hypothermia can be pretty risky because, you know, they don't swing the blade. Although, yeah, my opponent swings the blade here, which is it's really risky for them to do that because it costs them 2. But yeah, so typically I don't like Arsenal Hypothermia against fire unless I like absolutely need to. It's like I have nothing else to Arsenal. I'm not sure I'll just Arsenal the Hail. Especially if my opponent's on this like AB1 plan, you know, just chipping them for 5 on their turn with the Hail is pretty nice. Yep, so we did the blue Ice Vein, they took the 3 and lost a card. And on our turn we get to Erase Face. And watch our opponent just take 6 here, as like all the 5s like always do. Because like, yeah, what are they going to block with 3 cards? Yep, so I take 6, their face has been erased, which is nice. And then we draw into a red Ice Vein, which I'm very happy to see. But then you're very sad to see that my only ice cards are Frost Hex. So, you know, if I want to fuse it, I'm holding on to a Frost Hex, which I do not want to Arsenal in this matchup. So, I'm basically going to commit to just playing this Ice Vein unfused. Because, Like 5 Arcane is still 5 Arcane, and if using it means I need to hold on to a Frost Hex, that's kinda, it's just not worth it. Opponent goes in a Flame Call Awakening, but remember their face is erased, so this Phoenix Flame actually will come in for 0. So it's really just I guess another resource card. I guess Flame Call Awakening paid for itself, in which case it's just another 0 for 3. So, you know, like whatever. And I noticed my opponent pitches a red, so I'm like, cool, this Frostbite, I might as well just give them this Frostbite. And then, yeah, then at this point, I'm basically committed to the just unfused Ice Vein on my turn and Arsenal Sink below. Which is, you know, still fine because I'm representing like 10 damage across the both turns, and I'm not taking that much, so I'm kind of winning the turn cycles. Cool, opponent goes Lava Burst, pitching the Phoenix Flame that it 2'd. Yeah, so it's really just a resource card because, yeah, it's coming for 0. And his Lava Burst is not a Chain Link Force. It's really only coming for 2. So, you know, obviously, I don't care about this. Yeah, so we send this Ice Vein on opponent, which is basically just the same as like setting an Ice Bolt, I guess, except we don't get to Tunic Moon because Ice Vein costs 3. Opponent does block one of it. I'm not sure whether they thought it was fused or whether they just had the excess blue. I mean, given the fact they do pitch a blue here, so maybe that was just an excess blue they had. Or maybe the Talishar like thing wasn't clear to them and they thought it was fused. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, they pitch a blue here, so I imagine they were like, oh, might as well just block with this. And they start with the Spreading Flames. We have a nice play. I mean, when you fuse an Ice Vein and Arsenal Channel Lake Frigid, it's pretty awesome. So, yeah, I'm looking to block with the Ice Bolt and the Sink below in Arsenal this turn. And my turn will be the Fuse Ice Vein, Arsenal Channel Lake Frigid. Okay, and opponent plays a Blade. Again, I don't know, opponent's been swinging the Blade a lot this matchup. I'm not entirely sure if that's good for them, because that's like, yeah, you pay 2 for 3 against a deck that's like taxing you. So yeah. But anyway, it was 3, so that's a clean block with the Ice Bolt. Alright, so the Tunic to Fi. And there's definitely an argument here to use my Tunic and put Ironhide in front of this. But my logic was that if I want to Arsenal Channel Lake Frigid, the turn I Arsenal Channel Lake Frigid, I do like having Tunic up, because then I can pitch a blue to play the channel and then use my Tunic to Waning Moon for 3. So, you know, but given that I could use it here to just block the 2 and then have it like start racking up counters again, maybe that was better. Then again, I'm not sure if this game is gonna go on that much longer with how aggressive my opponent's being. Anyway, so yeah, they Salt the Wound here. And yeah, it's for plays like this, where, you know, if I Tunic to Ironhide, my Ironhide is actually blocking 3. Because it's blocking 2 on the Flame and blocking 1 extra from the Salt the Wound. But anyway, but we have the more aggressive play then, like, you know, we Channel Lake Frigid and we get to Tunic Moon. So we will still get the damage back. It's just that Tunic is like 1 turn delayed in like terms of when it comes back up. Right, so opponent cracked their Tide Flippers and their mask. Like I said, yeah, when you see them having AB1, you know they're gonna like just pop their mask like the first moment they have an opportunity, they will do it, which is the correct play for them. But you know, we were kind of far ahead if you think about it. So this isn't hurting us that much. Yeah, and then now they have like 0 AB, and so we can just go ham on them. Yeah, and I think my opponent made a mistake there searching for Salt the Wound. They should have searched for a Lava Burst because the Spreading Flames was active. So they missed the damage there. Okay, and then we also, and they start with a Belittle. Super unfortunate. Again, you know, when you have Channel Lake Frigid, the thing you're scared of is Belittle, and then they have it. So that's sad. But, you know, I still play the Channel League Frigid, and then, you know, before they find their blue, I Tunic Moon them. So, you know, but actually it doesn't matter since they have AB0, so I didn't need to do that. Oh well, but I did anyway. I think I forgot that they had AB0, that it doesn't actually matter. Yeah, and then, so again, we have the play of, you know, Channel League Frigid on their turn into like a red disruptive thing on my turn, which is my turn to have the tempo here. Although, I mean, it's arguable that we already had the tempo this game. And they pitched a Blaze Headlong, which is really nice to see, because it was clear, I mean, they pitched a Blaze Headlong because if they pitched the other card, like Blaze Headlong doesn't reveal to Belittle, so they had to pitch Blaze Headlong, so we're very happy to see that. Because like Belittle and Blaze Headlong is like so strong. Yeah, whereas like Belittle and the Lava Vein Loyalty, a lot less strong because the Lava Vein Loyalty doesn't have Go again, because they have like no Draconic Chain Links. Whereas Belittle, Blaze Headlong, then it's like Blaze Headlong has Go again, because that just cares about red cards, and then you have your first Draconic Chain Link, and then your Ember Blade and like your Lava Vein Loyalty, everything has Go again. So that's really nice. And then we go ahead and block with the CNCs. CNC is not a card I'd like want to keep in Arsenal, especially given that I'm keeping Channel around. What I really like, if that was a red spell, like a red Ice Vein or an Ice Bolt, I would keep in Arsenal, because with those cards, it's a lot easier to like keep your Channel around. Like, you know, you pitch a blue to play that card, and then you pitch another blue to Waning Moon. But you can't do that with CNC, because CNC is not a non-attack, so you can't like Waning Moon after if all you did was a CNC. So I'd much rather just block with it there and hopefully draw into a red spell. Opponent just blocks with a Shuko, correct play by them, but they're at 6, and we actually have lethal here. Again, I kind of just forgot my opponent only had AB1. I can actually Storm Shredders and Aether Heal them. I guess I'm not playing around an Oasis Respite, which I'm not going to against FI. That's fine. I mean, again, you know, there's no point going off unless I'm forced to. So, right over here, opponent starts another Belittle, and before they find their blue, we do the Blizzard. So they're forced to like pitch something relevant to get Go again, and then they just find the blue Minimism, which is like whatever. They only have like one remaining card that they can play. Yeah, so they pitched the yellow brand that they revealed to pay for the Blizzard, and now they just have a blue Minimism and some random card. So at most I'm taking like 4 more damage if that's like Blaze Headlong or something. Okay, so mounting anger. So yeah, I'm just taking 4 more damage, and yeah, so you know, I can just Aether Hail on my turn and save my Storm Striders. Although, oh wait, no, actually, I should have popped Storm Striders here. This was a bad play by me. I should have just popped it and just killed my opponent here. Because then, you know, they're empty-handed, so I know for sure they don't have a respite, obviously. Yeah, whatever, we play on our turn, keep our Striders, and then, you know, they concede. So, yeah, there we go. That was 1.5 quick games of Talishar. I do like this online client, it's very nice. Just be able to get, like, quick games. So yeah, those are the games. Thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed it.